Hello to all the lovely cloud enthusiasts and welcome to my channel, The Cloud Minds. Guys, I hope that you all are doing at the best of your health, at the best of your wealth, and I hope that you all are trying to become a better version of yourself so that the future self can thank for the steps that you have taken today. Guys, before we move ahead, I just wanted to give you a quick introduction about me. Of course, many of you have been following me. You already know me, but this is for the newcomers. Hi everyone, my name is Tejas Mahendrakar. And on the screen, what you see is the ways that you can connect with me. You can check on LinkedIn. That's the LinkedIn username that I use. Tejas Mahendrakar is the username. If you go on LinkedIn and then type Tejas Mahendrakar, you will land on my page and then you can very well connect with me. The Cloud Minds, like I said, this is the name of my YouTube channel, The Cloud Minds, wherein I put content. Now, one of the reasons why you need to subscribe to this channel is because I keep putting contents that is related to the AWS, and I also provide real world analogies. Like now, why I'm doing this is because initially when I started my cloud journey, it was very difficult for me to understand the cloud jargons and to understand how these all services fit together, or most of the services that we use are actually the reflection of the things that work in the real world. Okay, that we take inspiration from the real world itself and then we create two services. Now, today's topic, as I said, is also very interesting and I'll definitely provide a real world analogy. But that's one of the reasons why you need to subscribe to my channel, The Cloud Minds, and keep getting the content and you do not miss any important content. All right. So another way to contact me is thecloudsimplifier@gmail.com. This is my Gmail ID. This is my email ID. If you want to connect with me, if you have any doubts, or there is just few things that you want to exchange, few collaborations that you want to do, for example, you can still go ahead, send an email to thecloudsimplifier@gmail.com and I'll be very happy to receive your email and I'll be very happy to respond. Now, without taking much of your time, I would like to start with today's topic. It is also, like I said, a very interesting topic. Now, imagine you own a website, you have a web server that is being deployed to many instances, for example. I think that you have, for example, 10 EC2 instances. And now you're thinking of a way of how to provide equal distribution of the workload to all of these 10 EC2 instances so that not just one instance gets overwhelmed. If you have guessed what today's topic is, then congratulations, you are on the right path. If not, don't worry, we are going to discuss everything about today's topic, provide, as I said, a real world analogy as well, so that you can understand very clearly. And of course, we are going to do a demo as well. So today's topic that we are going to create 2 to 3 EC2 instances and we are going to distribute the load or balance the load across these EC2 instances. You must have guessed it by now. It is application load balancer, or just to provide a broader perspective, we are going to talk about load balancing today. Now guys, if you think about it, there are actually 4 types of load balancers. One of them is getting deprecated. The classic load balancer, which was previously used, which is previous generation, is getting deprecated. You don't have to worry about it. The one that we are going to talk about is application load balancer today. And there is another load balancer called networking load balancer, which we'll be talking in future episodes. The topic for today would be application load balancer. We'll be focusing more on the application load balancing part as well. The last load balancer that I wanted to talk about is the gateway load balancer. And as you go ahead from application load balancer till the gateway load balancer, they work on different network OSI models. If you have not, if you do not know about networks OSI, please go ahead, look at it and Google. It's a very interesting topic to understand. But they work on different networking layers. That's the reason why they have different, for example, the application load balancer works on HTTP, the networking load balancers, for example, works on TCP, UDP, and the gateway load balancer works on a different layer. All right. But today, as I said, the topic would be application load balancer, and we'll go ahead, try to create the application load balancer and see how we can distribute the load between at least 2 or maximum 3 of the EC2 instances. All right. let's go ahead and jump right on to our AWS Management Console, wherein we can get to understand what are the services and how do we create the application load balancer. Now, the basic or the first thing that you need for an application load balancer is our EC2 instances. Now, why did I say R is because it will make sense for you to have a load balancer if you have more than one instance. If it is just one instance, it will not make any sense for you to create a load balancer. Now, load balancer, like I said, is fully managed by AWS. You don't have to understand about underlying infrastructure. You don't have to tweak anything there. Of course, there are a little bit of configurations that AWS provides us. Like I said, the shared responsibility model. Shared responsibility model is one of the models wherein us, as in the people who are using the AWS and the AWS as a cloud service provider itself, we share the responsibilities. In this case, when I say ELB or the ALB, when I say the application load balancer is actually managed by AWS. What I mean is AWS will take care of everything, the underlying infrastructure. You just have to configure, you just have to start using the application load balancer, and you need to create few of the EC2 instances, like I said. Let's go ahead and see if we how do we create instances. Now, of course, we have already discussed on how do we create instances, so I'll just quickly run past through this. The name I'll provide here is my demo ALB instances. All right, this is the name that I'll be providing. The number of instances that I want are 3. Just excuse me because I don't know why this is getting into Stockholm. Let me change the region to Mumbai. That's probably because here I am in Stockholm. That's the reason. Probably it is moving to the AWS Stockholm region, but now I am in Mumbai region. I am giving my demo ALB instances as the name of the EC2 instances that I'll create. I want 3 EC2 instances, for example, and I want Amazon Amazon Linux instances. I'll choose the AMI, which is free tier eligible. It's also recommended for you if you're just learning, go with the free tier eligible instances and you'll understand a lot more things for that. All right. The instance type will be T2 micro. If you click here, you'll get different types of instances. I am very happy with the T2 micro. And as I said, we'll be creating 3 number of instances. Key pair, I do not wish to log into the EC2 instances as of now. So I'll proceed without a key pair. Even if you don't have a key pair, AWS also offers Session Manager, for example. AWS also offers EC2 Connect, for example, wherein you do not require key pairs and still you can connect to the instances. Those are more secure ways if you want to connect to the instances. All right, let's move ahead and let's try to understand what are the security group or the networking settings. Let's first understand the networking settings. Here I'll not change anything, but in the security group I just want to allow the HTTP traffic, and the name of the security group will be Launch Wizard 1. So we don't have to worry, we don't have to change it as of now. But the important thing that I wanted to show you, highlight here, is that I wanted to allow HTTP traffic. Why? Because the instances, the AWS instances or the EC2 instances that we are going to create will act as simple websites. They will have very simple web page. It will just say hello world, or it will just say hello and the IP addresses, the private IP addresses of those EC2 instances. And that's the reason why I want to allow HTTP traffic from the internet so that they can talk to my EC2 instance, and including the ALB, so that when someone requests, they'll first hit the ALB and then the ALB talks to the EC2 instances. We can still do that. All right. Like I said, I'm just deselecting, or I'm just removing the selection of SSH traffic. I do not want to SSH into this. Later, of course, we can still change this going into the security group, but right now I'm creating a new security group with the name Launch Wizard 1. If you see here, Launch Wizard 1, that's the name of the security group that will be created, and it will allow HTTP traffic from anywhere. All right. Let's go ahead. Let's see. I'm okay with the storage. I do not want, but the important thing that I wanted to show you here is the user data. Now here I have already created a EC2 boot script. Now while EC2 is bootstrapping, it will create these user data, what it will do here is it is updating the yum, -y is yes, it is updating the yum installer, and then it will install HTTPD, which is Apache's own web server. It will start the HTTPD and it will keep it enabled in case our EC2 instance reboots. Right? This is the file, the index.html file, which will be the default file once we try to log in or once we try to access our EC2 instances, and the content of the file would be very simple: hello from the IP address, which is the host name. It includes the IP address, the private IP address, and the entire host name. So that is what the content will be, and this will be the index.html file, which will be the default file that will be shown once we try to access the EC2 instance. All right, I'm good with this. I'm just trying to review it once. I'm good with this, and I'll say launch instances. Now, when I say launch instances, this is going to take a bit of time. I will wait till all of the instances are launched. Let's just go back here and then see. I have terminated 2 instances and there are 3 instances that are pending. Let me go back to the EC2 dashboard, and then if I say running instances, now the instances are not yet running. That's the reason probably why it is still not showing here. Okay, one of the instances has started running and there are 2 more instances that are in pending state. All right, or I'll come back once the instance state is all running and the status checks have all passed. All right, now I can see that the EC2 instances, the 3 EC2 instances that we have created are running. Let's rename them as -1. Let's rename this as -2 so that it's easier for us to understand what EC2 instances we are creating and what EC2 instances we are trying to access. All right. For some reason this didn't happen. I just have to click OK. All right. So now if you see, there are 3 EC2 instances, my demo ALB instances 1, 2, and 3. Now what we can do is we can scroll here and then look at load balancers, and we'll try to create a load balancer. All right, to create a load balancer, I just have to click on the load balancer. It will provide me options of, like I said, application load balancer, networking load balancer, and the gateway load balancer. If you scroll down a bit, it will tell you choose an application load balancer when you need a flexible feature set of applications with HTTP and HTTPS traffic. Here you see that it is TCP, UDP, etc. traffic, and gateway load balancer is one of the load balancers when you need to deploy and manage a fleet of third-party virtual appliances that support Geneva. Now what this means is, if you want your traffic to first be analyzed, then you need to use the gateway load balancer. Now for this demo, I'm going to just create the application load balancer. Let's keep it simple. Now what I'll do is my demo ALB, this will be name of the load balancer. Let me see. Yes, of course, this is in Mumbai. I want this as an internet facing load balancer. I am okay with the VPC. Now here it says select at least 2 availability zones. Now we know that the load balancers can span across the availability zones. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to check all of them so that if there are instances in those availability zones, then the load is balanced across them. All right. So here is one of the important things that we need to do. I want to select the launch wizard security group. Now why do I select launch wizard separate security group is because I have allowed HTTP traffic from there. If you go back and check the security group of launch wizard 1, it will tell you that it allows HTTP traffic from everywhere. All right, now coming back, now this is very important, guys. Listeners and routing is very important. So what we need to do, we need to listen to HTTP port 80, and what is listening to the HTTP port 80 is something called as a target group, and we need to create the target groups. Now what goes into the target group are the EC2 instances that we created. The 3 EC2 instances that we created here all go into the target group. Now if you see here, all of the statuses have passed and all of the instances are running. Now if you want me to check one of the instances and show you how it works, I'll copy, or I'll just click on open address, and it should show me what the content of that particular EC2 instance is. Now let me just copy this and then say yes. Let's wait for it to show. Of course, now see, it says hello from whatever is the internal IP address and the host name, the exact host name. All right. Now what I'll do is I'll do the similar thing for the second one as well. I'll copy this and I'll show you how this works. Right. Okay. It's not copied properly. Let me copy it. Let's wait for it to show up. Now see, this is 172, 31, 36, and 22. This is 4519, and similar is the case with the third EC2 instance. All right. Now what I do is, like I said, we'll go ahead and create a target group wherein we'll group all of these EC2 instances. Now what are we grouping here? We're grouping the instances, the EC2 instances that we created. All right. I'm okay with IPv4 addresses. I'm okay with HTTP1, and I do not want to check or remove anything here. I just want to keep the default configurations. I'll just click next. Okay. I need to provide the target group name. So what I'll do is I'll provide my demo ALB target group as the name of this target group. Let me say next, and here I just need to select all of the EC2 instances, or it completely depends on you if you want to just select two of the EC2 instances and then put them in the target group. And the important thing is we need to click here and then say include as pending. Now what it does is, if you scroll here and then see, it is trying to add all of these EC2 instances into a target group, and it is trying to create a target group. All right. When I click on create target group, if you scroll down and then see, now the target group is created with the name my demo ALB target group. And if you see here, there are 3 EC2 instances, but the important thing that to note is that the target group is not configured to receive traffic from the load balancer yet. Why? Because we have not selected the target group, and if you click here, it will not show any target group as of now because we have not refreshed the target group after we have created. All right. Now what I am telling the application load balancer, what I'm telling the application load balancer is to listen to HTTP traffic. Of course we can do HTTP or HTTPS. I'm asking that, requesting the target group, I'm requesting the application load balancer to listen to the HTTP target group on port 80 to all of the EC2 instances that I've put in as the target group. All right. I do not want to change anything else, and I'll just review it once. This is the summary, and then I'll click the load balancers. Of course, once you click the load balancer, it will not immediately start working. If you come here, it will still say the target group is not configured. However, if you refresh, it will say the target registration is in progress. Why? Because all of these targets are being registered with the application load balancer, and this is the name, this is the A record of the application load balancer. If you copy that and then click, probably it will not work because the target is still not, all of the targets, the EC2 instances that we spoke about, are still not registered with the application load balancer. We'll wait for a bit, and of course this is what we will be able to see once we start the application load balancer. All right. Now I'll wait for the target group to, let's refresh once and then see if they have done. Not yet. I'll wait for the target registration to get completed. Now here it will show the status as healthy. Once we are done with it, we'll come back and then look how the ALB works, and after we are done with it, I'll also help you clean up all of this. All right guys, we'll wait till the status of all of these are healthy, and then we'll come back and then see. Thank you. All right, now all of the targets or all of the EC2 instances have been registered with our application load balancer. If you see that the health status right now, it is showing as healthy, and if you see up, it says 3 out of 3 are all healthy. There are no unhealthy instances. Now, one of the things to remember here is that application load balancer or the load balancers are smart enough to understand not to send traffic to any of the unhealthy instances. Now, for example, if I stop any instances, 1, 2, or 3, if there are any issues with, think that there is an issue with one of the instances and one of the instances just stops responding, here it will show that one of the instances is unhealthy. There are 2 instances that are healthy, and load balancers are very smart enough to redirect traffic only and only to the healthy instances and not to the unhealthy instances. That is one of the beauties of using the load balancers, and it will be a no-brainer it is a no-brainer that you go ahead and use the load balancers instead of creating your own load balancer and then managing it, because as I said, the application load balancers or the load balancers in AWS are all fully managed by AWS. Now let's go back and then copy this A record, and here let's paste it and then see if it is working. Of course, now there is okay. Now if you see that it was working very quickly, now the IP address that you see here is 3622. If I keep refreshing it, it will change. See, it is now redirecting traffic to all of the 3 instances. Now let's do one of the things. Let's stop one of the instances. Now this is one of the testings that we're doing wherein we stop one of the instances. All right, now we'll stop one of the instances, and then here if you come back and look in the target group, if you refresh the target groups, it will in some time show that there are 2 healthy instances and one of the instances is unhealthy, and it will not redirect the traffic to the unhealthy instances. You will continue to see there are only 2 instances as of now, right? The third instance probably is not showing because ALB or the application load balancer has sensed that one of the instances is unhealthy. Let me refresh this page. Let me actually hard refresh this page. Probably that is when it will show that there are 2 healthy instances and there are 0 unhealthy instances. That is because it is showing that this instance is not used as of now, and it is redirecting traffic only to 3622 as well as 3776. It is not redirecting traffic to the other EC2 instance. Now this is the beauty, as I said, of the application load balancer, and it is a no-brainer for you to use the application load balancers. All right, so this is what we have created in application load balancers. We have seen how to create the application load balancers. We have also seen how to create the target groups, how to add the EC2 instances to the target group, create the load balancers, and then redirect the traffic. Now the important part is to clean up as well. What we'll do is we'll go ahead, select all of the EC2 instances, and then we'll go ahead and then say terminate instances. Why do we have to terminate the instances? Because this is one of the very important cleanup tasks that we do just for you to stop incurring any charges. Of course, if you're using the EC2 instances, then you can very well keep that. It completely depends on your use case. All right. Now what I'll do is I'll go ahead and deregister these instances. Of course, they'll automatically get deregistered, but I still want to do it. I'll go ahead and then delete the target group as well. Why? Because we have also created the target group. I'll say yes, delete. It is currently in use by the listener. Okay, of course. Why this this error is showing? Because we have a listener port here, which is to the target group. We first have to click on manage listeners and then delete the listener. I'll just click on confirm. And once I click on confirm, it will remove or deregister or delink the listener, and then I can go ahead and then delete this particular target group. Now if you see, the target group has been deleted. Now last part that we need to do is actually delete the load balancer itself. Now let's see if we are able to delete the load balancer. I'll say confirm and I'll delete the load balancer. Of course, it says successfully deleted the load balancer. One important thing that is remaining right now is the security group. Now let's see if we are able to delete the security group itself, because sometimes if any EIPs or network interfaces, like I said here, network interfaces are associated with these security groups, so it will not allow us to delete the the security group. That's because the load balancers are not yet completely deleted and the ENIs or the elastic network interface are not yet released for that matter. That's the reason why you will still not be able to delete this. We can of course try in some time to see. Of course, now if you see, the load balancers have been deleted, the ENIs or the elastic network interfaces have been detached, delinked from that load balancers, and now we are able to delete the security group. Now I'll go ahead and delete the launch wizard security group, the one that we had created. All right, guys, this is what I wanted to show you. You have been with me till the end. I'm very happy. I'm very happy so that you guys can understand. I'm happy to create the content, provide the content, And if you have any doubts or if you did not like any of the part of this content, do let me know in the comment section. And if you want to connect with me, I have also already provided in the beginning, I've already provided you what are the connection options. Do not hesitate to contact me, guys. Subscribe to my channel. If you like this video, do share it with your friends and do subscribe to my channel and request your friends as well to subscribe to my channel. All right. Thank you so much. You have a great day.